Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're starting our new build, and this is the rough conceptual layout here. So let's go through it and I'll show you what we're doing. We're doing extremely non-traditional again, as we did with the last build. And as you can see here, I laid all the pieces out, and these are all of our main components for the next build here. And what we're doing is, I'm kind of going old school with this one. I'm actually not going to use CAD for the main portion of the frame. So we're drawing the frame out, and there's no better way to do that than actually just physically lay the pieces out, get your scale, and just start, drawing and getting your everything sized here. So what we have is a 1926 Harley-Davidson engine, and it's just the bottom end is a 26, and we're custom building this whole motor. So a 26 bottom end, custom made cylinders out of cast iron, and then these are 1928 Rudge single cylinder 4-valve heads. Okay, so Rudge was a race bike back in the early 20s, 30s, and they eventually closed up in the 40s. They were extremely successful in the race world. They were very fast. They had a lot of power, a European brand. And this conversion's been done before, but we're going to do a little bit different, like nobody's seen before. I actually went through and I scanned these heads. We're going to be making a new set of heads, but we're using the actual Rudge heads for our scanning. And these are 4-valve heads. So what we're going to be doing is making our custom 8-valve motor, which Harley did on their own back in the early teens and into the 20s, but they never did it like this. So this motor is going to be completely handmade. We're going to have our Rudge 4-valve heads on front and back of the cylinders, as you can see here. It's going to have a common intake manifold, and we're going to run that into a supercharger. And this is going to have a mag drive as well, and we're going to custom make the cam chest. That's why I have the cam chest off the engine right now, but we just have it laid out so you can see how much height and clearance we need to build the frame around it. The transmission is going to be a standard 3-speed JD transmission, and this is the correct era to match the engine. It'll have your kicker and all that good stuff. So that'll be, kind of stockish for to compare it to the rest of the bike. The neck there, that's an extremely offset race style neck. It's like a hill climber style. That's a 3D printed one that I've already made, because we actually build 3-bar hill climb frames. But I'm just going to modify that, and I'm going to make my own neck. I'm just using that for layout purposes for this particular frame. And if you work your way to the back here, you can see this is kind of different. What we're going to do is, I have a rear drive unit from a newer Honda, and I'm just using this because it's a right-hand side drive, and I'm going to hide the shaft in the frame rail itself. And this is going to be our single-sided hardtail rear end of the bike. So the bike will go to a single-sided setup, and then the drive shaft will hide in the frame tube. So all you'll see on the back is a wheel. You won't see any gears, you won't see any chains, nothing driven. And then we're going to custom make a drive unit off the transmission, off the 3-speed trans that drives the drive shaft. So it would be like a 90-degree bevel, and all that's going to have to be designed as we get to go through with the build. But you can kind of get an idea what it's going to look like right here. We're going to have 19 to 21 inch wheels front and back, and it's going to have an extremely high offset on the front here. I'm going to make the gas tank. So the next time you check in with us, we're actually going to move all these components off of off our drawing here on the floor, and I'm going to start bending the tubing up, and we're going to start on actual frame fab. And once we get the tubing and everything bent up, we're going to start transferring that into our frame, into our fixture, to our frame jig. And we'll start going and actually tacking this thing together and getting all of our mounts and everything set up. But the next step for us is, I have to actually build and fabricate the neck. That way I can actually fixture that into the frame jig, and we can build from the front to the back. And obviously once we get to the back, that's going to be the biggest challenge, is getting all that set up and all of our geometry correct for the offset and everything. But this just gives you an idea where we're going. This is the start of it. We're going to take you through the entire process from start to finish, and we're at the ground floor right here. So make sure you guys subscribe, like. So if you guys are interested, make sure you follow along, and we'll walk through and build this bike.